Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. So I'm super excited. Today we're going to be doing another installment of the Beyond Basics series talking about layouts and 10 design strategies for horizontal planners, how to lay them out in a consistent manner week by week and still make them beautiful and functional. To begin, let's talk about dividing things up into thirds. The rule of thirds is a simple technique where you divide a design up into 3 rows and or columns and use those sections to create a balanced composition. For the layouts featured in this video, each day will contain 3 elements starting with checklists or to-dos. To keep my planner functional, I like to have tasks that need to be completed for the day written out in my planner, so this element is essential to me. Next, I like to include a section that will be a focus or highlight for the day. So whether that is something important I need to get done, or an event or appointment, it is bold and it draws my attention. And the third element that I include each day is some sort of quote or decor to add some pizzazz to the spread. I am going to show you how to use those 3 elements in various ways to create consistently pleasing layout designs. So let's jump right in. So to start us off, we're going to do a functional layout. So in this first one, I'm going to kind of show you what I mean by dividing the page into thirds. We have obviously 3 sections on each day, and this layout will be just the super basic functional layout for those functional planner babes. So I'm using the numbers in correspondence to my little key over there that says what each one will denote. So 1 being checklist and to-dos, 2 to be focus and highlight, and 3 to be decor. So this is how you would lay out a very functional layout, very simple but consistent. I have an example here on the right showing you how it might look, with either just writing it out with pens and highlighters, or you can imagine replacing the drawings with quotes or colorful boxes, or however you deem to decorate your spread. You don't always have to use stickers. You can draw and doodle and make it almost like a bullet journal if you like. So here are some ideas. So as you can see, first on the day is the checklist, and then the second is the focus, and then the third is the decor, which I have the TGIF or the flowers or the quote there on the bottom. If you do your entire spread like this, this is how it will turn out, and it will still look very clean and very functional. So layout number 2 is similar to the basic, except for it is a mirrored effect. So you would go checklist, focus, decor, and then decor, focus, checklist. So I'm going to show you kind of how that would look across a spread, just using some highlighters and again pen, and showing you how it will balance out on the spread. So here I'm putting in some checklists as well as some decor. I did a spread similar to this called the rainbow spread. It was basically a lot of circles all kind of clustered towards the spine, and then we had checklists on the outsides and focuses on the outsides as well. So I'm just going to kind of map out how this would look in a consistent manner, so you can see just an idea of how it will still look clean and consistent but very functional, and just adding in some colors so you can kind of get an idea. Okay, so layout 3 is a center decor layout theme, and basically the way that it is structured is that you put all of your decor into the center. I forgot to label that. All of your decor into the center, and then you stagger the checklist and the focus back and forth each day. So what I'm showing you is on the right, let's say you were doing kind of like a centered flower decor, you could do that, and then you would have a checklist in the middle to start, and then you would put the focus box on the next day. And basically alternate between checklist and the focus each day. So this is a really nice option if you want to do something that's kind of clean and also very impactful along the spine. And you can still leave room for what you want to write in, but you have a nice balance to your spread. Next we have the mid-page spread. So this is getting a little more sophisticated. This is where you do your decor down the middle of each page, and then you alternate the checklist and the highlights on either side of that decor. So for example, if you have a nice long quote that is very vertical, you can put that down the center of the page and then add in your checklist and what have you on either side. Also alternating those. Okay, next layout is outside decor. This is when you might want to do more of a border style design all around your spread, and maybe even including the very top and the bottom and all the way around on the sides. So again, I'm going to use kind of like a floral theme, just kind of showing you how you could cluster some flowers, or anything again that will kind of cover the edges. If you have leaves or even like squad girls or whatever, you could do that, or designs that you hand drawn. Basically you would coat the very edges of all, and then you can also do a little bit on the bottom, then stagger the checklist and the highlight between the two. And here I'm kind of showing you how you could use solid boxes here too, and write over those. If you have like scrap paper or what have you, you could do that. And just kind of giving you an idea of how this might look with multiple colors. This next one is a rotating layout, which is one I often use in my spreads kind of subconsciously. I tend to like things to look somewhat randomized but consistent. So You might see this in some of my Plan with Me's. I like to start with, you know, either checklist and then focus and decor, but then on the next day, then start with a focus and then move on to the decor and then put in the checklist. And then on the next day, you'll see me start with the decor, then the checklist and the focus, just so everything kind of looks staggered and separated, nothing's clumped together. So kind of again going with that rule of thirds gives you a feel that it's cohesively balanced but not symmetrical. So this next layout type is kind of hard to explain. It's similar to the one I just showed you. However, all you're really trying to do is avoid clumping things together. Otherwise, you keep your sections going. You still have your checklist, you still have your highlight, you still have your decor, but you just lay things down and then just try to avoid putting things together that are the same. And sometimes it might work out and sometimes it might not. So right now I'm starting off with like a basic checklist, quote, decor if you will, and then a highlight. And then on the next day I have decor kind of mixed with a highlight and then another checklist. And then to separate out the decor, you start it on the right to kind of give it a staggered feel. But say that you want to put your checklist on the left. So that means that you're going to have two highlights on top of each other. Maybe you find a different style of the same, like a raindrop or like a circle, and you have a square above so they're not exactly the same. And you kind of just work with what you pull, what stickers you want to use, and you just try to make it look random even though it is somewhat cohesive. So this next layout is also a favorite of mine, putting a quote kind of in the center of the very first page. I do this a lot, and then the way that you'll have to balance that out on the opposite side is to try to kind of put a chunk or the chunk of the decor either at the top or the bottom, and that usually helps kind of make the spread feel still random but balanced. So here I'm just kind of putting in the numbers where they fit, keeping them staggered. But I'm going to draw over these ones this time just so you could see, because I kind of needed to show you the whole spread and how it laid out. But this is how the decor would kind of come in. This one I'm using clouds and a quote clustered together there on the right hand side, and then adding in some checklists just to kind of fill in so you can see where things would be. Just adding some more colors so you can kind of see it a little better as well. And then say you had, you know, a large floral element that you wanted to add in here or wanted to draw in. Say it's like a spring spread. And then another large element here, kind of take up a lot of space, but also anchor the center of the page. So I'm trying to progress slowly through the most simple to the most complicated style of layouts, except for the end. So this one is a pretty sophisticated style of layout. You kind of have to have a clear vision for what you want and how you want the decor to all fit, but it will come. If you are just starting out, feel free to, you know, begin kind of maybe with layouts earlier in the video and then kind of progress as you feel more comfortable with those kind of layouts to something more like this where you kind of have to get a feel for how things are balancing out. So this one here is a little bit complicated as well, only because you're centering a lot of your focus at the bottom of the page and then having things kind of staggered throughout in the spread. So I'm going to show you how this would lay out. I drew the numbers how they would be on the top days, and then so where I'm drawing the flowers, those would obviously be 3s, and where the decor would be. And then you would have more decor up here in the corner to kind of give you like a V shape, if you will, to your spread, where the decor is at the top corners and then in the bottom center. And here you also want to be mindful that you're not doing too much symmetry between the two, especially because they're directly mirrored across from each other. So here I kind of made it a little bit more random by putting a similar cluster of circles on the bottom on one and then on the top on the other. And then here, so let's say you had a layout like I had just shown you, and you would have ended up stacking 2 highlight boxes on top of each other. That might be the time to make an adjustment and do a longer highlight box, or maybe that it would be your weekly checklist. So that's an option that you could always use to update the look and the layout once you feel comfortable. Again, this is progressing to the ones that are a little bit more complicated and you kind of have to get into the feel for things, but you can all do it. Just wanted to give you some ideas on how to make it happen. This last layout is a simplified layout for those planner babes who really don't have that much to track. Say you don't have a full list of things to track every day, or you only want to have, you know, one highlight for the day and really want to do more decorative planning. So what you could do in your horizontal spreads is focus more on the decor and then choose whether you need a task list or just a simple highlight each day and stick with 2 and then alternate between them. So here I'm kind of showing you a large quote maybe that is very horizontal, so you could still put in a list above it, but not too much. And then maybe a focus below and another decor item or image that's very large and takes up a lot of space. And then just some options here, so quotes again, large quotes or images, and just alternating between the two. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it useful for laying out horizontal spreads. And if you did like this video, please go ahead and leave me a thumbs up down below. And while you're at it, leave me a comment and get in touch. I'd love to hear your suggestions. And go ahead and think about subscribing to my channel if you'd like to see more of my videos. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. And we'll see you next time. Bye!